Hello, everybody, and welcome to Platform Productions Cold Cuts, the show where nobody has read the script until you see us receiving the script. Tonight, we will be concluding Caroline Lesney's story, The Broadcast, the thrilling conclusion, because last time the inspector struck the suitor off the list of suspects because he spent his time with the houseboy, as it were, and pitched her suspicion of the house guest guilt before she was interrupted by an attempt on the heiress's life. The end of episode 5 left us unsure of Miss Westwood's fate. Meanwhile, in the real world, John received a mysterious phone call from Artie, and Irene finally hears Felicity's voicemail. On a cliffhanger ending, John opened the door to Felicity? Maybe not. Holding a gun. So let's meet our actors for tonight. Actors, I want to know how you're feeling. We're coming to a very emotional, very stirring conclusion here. And I also have your predictions for this episode written out. So I would love to see kind of a compare contrast as to what you felt towards the beginning of this series and how you're feeling now, because we're getting to the end. We're going to know for sure who amongst you was right and who amongst you was wrong before the end of this evening. So let us get started. First up, we have James Johnston. James, you predicted yourself for both the murderer in the audio drama and the murderer in real life. How are you thinking about things now?
Yep, never been wrong. Batting 1,000. I feel good.
Cool. So you think still Sebastian, even though the suitor has been knocked off the list because of his little encounter with the houseboy, you still think he was able to sneak out and sneak back in?
I think that we still might be able to pull up something. We still got one last quarter left in the game. I'm sort of the Tom Brady of murder. That's always been able to come out at the very end and pull it off. So I'm really looking forward to today's game.
Awesome. Well, I am hoping for your sake that you continue never being wrong ever in your life.
Never.
Up next, we have Kevin Hauger. Kevin, your prediction was Irene, and I don't know. Do you still think it's Irene, and do you still not know?
Well, I'm very sure about the I don't know option. No, I don't think it's Irene. We had a theory last time that maybe she was like the mastermind and that her receiving this voicemail was like a sign of things going wrong, but I don't think that that's true. I don't know. I'm thinking that in the real world there might not actually be a murderer. Like there's all this sort of paranoia because Artie went missing, but other than like the very first victim, or else like if there was a murder, I don't know if it's related to our show. That's my thought.
Okay. Fair
the
point.
very
We'll
first
see.
murder was just a completely different true crime situation.
Well,
it's completely
nothing murderous has happened since. We've just had
That's
a
fair.
disappearance and everybody's like freaking out. So I mean maybe there's a murderer, but like I think it's gonna be something that I can't anticipate, if that makes sense.
I think
Fair
more
point.
narrative should just have one scene that's completely unrelated, and you just
Yeah,
have to
you know?
figure out which one it is.
Exactly.
Well, up next, we have Emery Chase. Emery, your predictions was the doctor and yourself, Irene. Do you still believe this?
Well, I kind of hit correct on the doctor because I think it was like pretty bluntly stated last episode he at least tried to kill the heiress. So go me. And then I don't know about Irene. I think she's definitely one of the people who is like more suspicious at this point because yeah, it is a little weird that she didn't check the voicemail more promptly, especially since she was like confronted about having heard from Felicity and said no. So that's a little bit sus. But the other thing I'm wondering, because like I suspect either John or Irene, right? But we know that Drew was originally supposed to play the doctor before something happened. So like, did that thing happen on purpose and the doctor was always supposed to be the equivalent of John? Or was the doctor supposed to be the equivalent of Drew? So Drew's the bad guy, but then something, I'm not articulating this well, but like, I know y'all know what I mean. So
Right.
was Drew supposed to be the bad guy in real life and then something happened? Or was he always supposed to be gotten rid of?
Some like wiggly wobbly murdery wordery stuff.
Yeah,
going
sure, yeah. Because everyone's clearly like an allegory for them. So if John's the bad guy, then that means that Drew was killed on purpose so that John could be the doctor.
So we have some comments from Twitch. Official Mickey fan club says, make them guess. And Veronica says, I don't know, cop out Kev. So we are going to be upping the stakes for the rest of your introductions. I would love to give Official Mickey fan club what they asked for. Gotta support the fans here. So from this point on, no more I don't know as your answers.
Been
Make
called
them
out,
guess.
Kevin.
Okay, I'll change my answer to Felicity. It's my official guess.
Okay.
Quote me on it.
She did sleep with someone in her
Absolute
missing
betrayal.
brother's bedroom. So, I mean, that's not the mark of someone with a lot of integrity.
I didn't do that.
I don't know.
You
you're
were
not
there, but
really-
it wasn't your missing brother. So
But you knew it was
knew.
No, I'd like
You're
to officially
accomplice.
disassociate myself from John, is what I need. I don't want to be taking on responsibility for this. I didn't even know what I was getting into.
No, whoever's the murderer is just getting arrested immediately after the stream. Didn't you guys read your contracts? We were going straight to jail.
Yeah,
Well,
just
that's
how
the
like we've been
sirens
holding
outside?
Eric in a basement for the past
Yeah.
however many weeks.
Let me out.
Yeah, we have to do that complete bastardization of what method acting really is and actually do the thing, because imaginations don't exist. Anyway, Maggie B. Han, your guesses were Artie and Felicity or the heiress. Still stand by your statements.
That's interesting. I have zero recollection of accusing Felicity or the heiress, so that's kind of fun to have that pop back up. I am gonna say that I would still not be surprised if it were Artie. He's just got awful vibes. But realistically, the actual prediction is I do think the most evidence points to John / the doctor as both, like both real life and inside the broadcast, the murderers. But we will see. I would love personally if Artie made his grand return as the murderer. Like we see him come back in cuffs. That's it. The end.
So we'll have to
Fingers
start
crossed.
staging a perp walk for Eric.
I don't even get any lines. It's just looking down.
We just for about 30 seconds just hear chains rattling.
And speaking of Eric Anderson, your guess was John and Sebastian.
Okay, so I think John is still a good guess. Sebastian seems to be out of the window here. But yeah, John's always been a little sketchy skis ball. So sticking by with John inside the story. I think the doctor, John and the doctor. Let's make it a solid twofer.
Okay. Yeah, you answered my next question, which was who do you think did it within the audio drama? But
Mhm.
there you go.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we have the heiress herself, Paige Elena. Paige, you said Artie and the gardener. Do you still think it's Artie and the gardener?
No, I think I'm with Eric on this one now. I think it's John and the doctor. But
Do you think
I
you're dead?
I think I think the heiress is a goner. I don't know. I don't know if she survived last episode, but if she did survive last episode, she's not surviving this one. I know that for sure. I'm hoping Felicity is like a final girl because she had some final girl energy, but now she has more like Joker energy. So I don't know if she's gonna make it out either. I might be losing both of them.
So no more picking on Artie and the gardener. You're just gonna go ahead and pick on
I'm
yourself.
not anymore. Yeah, I don't know what he's up to, but I don't think it's murder. Now, I don't think it's legal what he's doing, but I don't think it's murder.
And the gardener, I mean, definitely didn't try and kill you because he's super dead.
No,
So
He's very dead. Gardner's very dead.
very dead.
So, yeah.
You know, one of the other lingering mysteries is you saw the ghost. The heiress, you saw the ghost of your father.
I think they blamed that on the doctor, didn't they? Didn't they say that they... Oh, now I can't remember, but I thought at some point in the script that like the inspector knew it was like you were the ghost or something like that.
I think
Either
she
way, I think
accused
there should be more
me
ghosts.
of being dressed up as the ghost.
I think it was
That's
just
what it
another
is,
moment of
yes.
very confident accusation.
Yeah, I don't think
Very
that's what
confident,
it was.
completely
But the
incorrect.
doctor could have. could have been giving Felicity like he could have been drugging her. She probably trusted him enough to like, oh, here, you seem anxious, take this, and then it was like
he's also the
hallucinogens.
only other like older man, right? Because the suitor and the gardener were both pretty young, so he's the only one who could have
think
looked
so.
like her dad.
Or maybe the gardener was a DILF. I mean, we don't know what the
Or
house
the
guest type
gardener
is.
was a- we can never rule out DILFs.
All we know was that the house guest was sleeping with him. We don't know. We don't know. That
don't
doesn't
know
mean anything.
Fair enough.
Could still be Patrick Swayze.
Could still be
That's
Patrick
true.
Swayze.
That has
We can
been-
never rule out Patrick Swayze.
Conspicuously absent from this conversation has been Patrick Swayze.
Uh-huh.
So, final thoughts before we go into the last script. How are you feeling, everybody?
I just want to know
Super
who's holding that
excited.
gun.
Yeah, I'm
God, I
super
hope
excited.
it's me. I've been so ready.
At the
Oh
range
my
all week.
God.
Holding guns. Yeah, just holding.
Yeah, I'm gonna do right there. Sorry.
So anyway, I started blasting. How are you feeling about ending everything? How are you emotionally? Do you need to talk? Are you okay?
Oh man.
Honestly, it came as a pretty big surprise to me. I did not think this was the finale.
No,
Neither did
Paige and I were
we.
talking about that.
Oh,
We
okay.
forgot that the last one was like wrap up, and so I thought we had 2 more episodes, and then I saw the Instagram post that was like series finale, and I was like, what?
I saw
So-
Kevin's post first about it being the finale, and I almost made fun of him. I was like, "You idiot! This isn't the finale."
You would. No, to be fair, I didn't
Confidently
know until I
incorrect.
saw Caroline's. I saw
Yeah.
Caroline's post, and because for some reason, I had it stuck in my head that next weekend was the last one. So
Well, 'cause we
even
are-
knowing
We are
It's like a
streaming
talk
next
back.
weekend, but
Yeah.
it's not the script. Did
okay.
any
Weekend
of us
after,
remember
not next
that
week.
tonight was the last script? Did anyone
not.
know?
Patrick Swayze did.
Yeah,
He's laughing at us
Swayze
all.
always remembers.
can't get anything past that guy.
But no, I'm very sad. As I've said a few times, I like really love this script, so I am very
Mhm.
sad to no longer be reading it once a week.
Yeah, I just want Caroline to maybe like text me a random cliffhanger every week.
That
Oh,
would be
yeah.
great,
God. I would
actually. Can we
subscribe
get
to
in a
that.
group text with Caroline?
Caroline,
and
start a
just-
business. Your weekly cliffhanger text.
No context cliffhangers.
No context at all.
Caroline could probably make some pretty good money at somewhere like a mysterious package company, putting together the mystery boxes that they send you every couple weeks with different memorabilia and mysteries. That's always a lot of fun.
This
That's
could be
fun.
like a hunt a killer activity. I mean, I think they use cold
Yeah.
cases for that, but like a spin-off.
Mhm.
Well, if everyone is ready, platform, could you please send us our final scripts for Caroline Lesney's The Broadcast? Actors, remember to change your names and give me a thumbs up when you have your script. While we're at it, would love to hear some final thoughts before we get into the conclusion from our Twitch chat. Does anyone else have predictions that they want to share with us? Anyone want to make fun of Artie one last time? Anyone have any very random predictions, or how does Patrick Swayze fit into everything? One thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. Official Mickey fan club says, I predict Paige will do a wonderful job. Aw. Aw.
That's my roommate.
Aw.
I love you.
Well, that's just a lazy prediction. That's obviously going to be true.
I wouldn't say it's lazy. I would say it's very thoughtful and backed up by cogent evidence.
We'll stay with low-hanging fruit. So not necessarily lazy.
Not lazy, but low-hanging
obvious.
fruit. That's much better.
Okay, I have seen thumbs up from everyone. All right, let's go ahead and get started. The Broadcast, Episode 6, Story is King, by Caroline Lesney. The Rose Garden at dusk. A gasp. The heiress draws breath and sits bolt upright. The house guest screams as the suitor runs to help her prop herself up. The inspector falls back onto her hands, exhausted with relief.
Thank God. Oh, thank God.
That's it. Take a breath.
Are you all right? God, you terrified us.
Woman's just had her heart restarted. Give her a minute.
Don't worry, darling. Don't talk if you're not ready.
I'll get a glass of water.
And a blanket, quickly now.
No.
The inspector holds out a hand to stop the suitor.
Ms. Westwood?
Doctor. Where's Doctor?
Back in the dimly lit hallway of Artie's apartment building, John has his hands raised to either side of his head. Felicity stands in the doorway, hands trembling around a pistol that is pointed directly at him.
Felicity, what are you doing?
You stay right where you are.
Okay. Just put the gun down, please, Felicity.
If you come any closer, I'll shoot. I'll do it.
I'm staying right here.
You gotta let me go. Do you understand me? You won't be able to get away with this.
You're acting crazy.
Felicity fires a shot at the fire sprinkler in the ceiling. It bursts open and triggers the system, sending water raining down on both of them.
Jesus Christ!
No one else is coming out of their apartments, John. Why is no one else coming out?
Just tell me what's happening to you, and I promise I'll help you fix it.
It's the broadcast. The broadcast is happening to me. You're the doctor, and I'm the heiress, and Artie's the gardener, and for all I know, he really is dead.
But he's not.
I won't let you do it. I won't let you kill me, too.
Why would I want to kill you?
Because you're the murderer. The doctor's the murderer, and you're him, and I'm her, and this is what happens next. You try to kill me.
Felicity, I'm not going to kill you.
No, you're not. No, you're not, because I'm rewriting the script.
By killing me first? Felicity, please, I don't know what's made you think this way, but you are not inside that story. This story is all your own, and you can choose not to do this.
That's exactly the type of thing the doctor would say.
Well, I'm not him. I made him up. I'm me, John, and I really like you. I could fall in love with you, Felicity. It wouldn't even be that hard, but I'd never want to kill you. It's just a character. Please, Felicity, put the gun down.
The sprinkler is still beating down relentlessly. Felicity's hair is sopping, plastered to her forehead, and John's clothes are sticking to him.
You've got away with words. Has anyone ever told you that?
Once in a while.
Slowly, Felicity takes her finger off the trigger and lowers the gun. Then the door at the other end of the hallway bangs open and Irene runs through, cell phone in hand.
Felicity!
Felicity puts the safety on the gun and slides it behind her into Artie's apartment.
Is that a gun?
Irene, what are you doing here?
I got your message. Everything all right?
It will be. I just talked to Artie.
What?
What?
On the phone. I think he was trying to call you, but it was definitely him.
Alive?
Apparently.
Oh my God.
What'd he say? Why's he been hiding?
He wouldn't tell me.
You need to take me to him, or tell me where, and I'll go alone. I need to get him back.
I don't even know where he is, what he's doing, why even. He wouldn't say.
He wouldn't say? No, that's ridiculous. He must have told you.
Maybe he was with someone else?
If he wouldn't say where he is, how does he expect me to... Oh!
She whips out her phone.
What?
I've been getting these emails all week. I thought they were spam, but here.
This is a marketing email.
Yeah, for a gardening center.
You think...
Why not? I mean, I never signed up for it. They just showed up. It's on theme, and there's an address.
654 Meyerwood Boulevard?
I'm mapping us there now.
Should we maybe think about this before we...
Have you got the keys?
Yeah, but
Then let's go.
Irene's car is speeding down the dark, empty highway, horsepower buzzing under Irene in the driver's seat. Felicity sits beside her, arguing over her shoulder with John.
Why this location? How do you know it's not a scam or fraud? A trap, even?
I don't.
Oh, God. I don't know why I agreed to this.
Because it wouldn't be hard for you to fall in love with me. How far?
10 minutes at the most?
She steps on the gas a little more, revving the engine.
It fits right in with how things have been going. A disappearance, an affair, now a greenhouse. Everything else is coming true. Why not this? It's too much of a coincidence.
Right. A totally sound system.
Tell me again. Exactly what did he say to you?
Uh, he said it's not to do with the drugs and just that he's somewhere out of the way, but because of who he's with, he couldn't talk for long.
I don't know if that sounds better or worse than the drugs thing.
What else?
He asked me to tell you. It was important to him. He said, tell my sister my car got stolen."
Why would he say that? No one would ever steal his car. That thing's a piece of.
What?
It's this thing we used to do. When our mom died, we had to get carted around a lot, so we made up things to tell each other when we wanted out of a situation without alerting the people we were with. The more expensive the item should have been, the faster we needed the other one's help.
Like a cipher.
So, what does it mean that his car got stolen?
It means he's in a lot of trouble. We'd better hurry.
Irene guns it and the car shoots forward.
I just remembered there's something else.
What is it?
It was the first thing right out of the static. He said, Felicity, and then, don't come.
The car speeds on. Soon they are standing outside an abandoned warehouse. The filthy facade looming before the three of them in the dark. Felicity and John are looking at it warily.
Could he have picked anything creepier?
I like it. It's cinematic.
It certainly makes a statement.
Yeah.
I'll go check out the entrance.
She runs off through a shallow puddle toward the warehouse doors.
Felicity, before we go in, you should think about what I said. This could be a trap.
I don't think it is.
But it could be.
Yes, it could be.
And Artie could be behind it.
I know my brother, John.
You didn't know about the drugs. You didn't even know if he was alive until tonight. I'm just saying, be prepared.
I am.
Inside the warehouse, Irene, John, and Felicity creep cautiously through the huge doors that echo metallically at the gentlest touch. Felicity steps in a puddle.
Watch that.
Thanks.
It's quiet except for the drip of water and the occasional scurry of some creature or another. They round another corner, and even through the dark, Felicity sees him.
Artie.
She moves forward, but John grabs her wrist.
Sure?
I'll be careful. You two wait here.
Felicity moves forward, still hidden, until she can see her brother fully. He's pacing lazy circles and stops when he hears her call.
Artie?
No. No, Felicity? Where are you?
What's happening, Artie? I'm not coming out until I can trust you.
Trust me? Trust me? You have no idea what's happening here.
I'm the one who spent the last week feeling like I'm going crazy because I can't keep my real life and my fake one apart. If you're doing it, I have to find a way to stop you.
Me doing it? I only just broke out of it.
Out of what? Tell me what's going on.
Where are you?
Cautiously, Felicity moves out from behind a tower of crates.
Thank God, it's really you.
Of course it's me.
What are you doing here?
You sent the code you needed help.
I also said not to come.
I know, but I brought backup. Are you okay? What is happening?
Artie has clapped eyes on the two people behind Felicity, who have just edged out into the main space.
Artie?
You brought... Why would you bring them here?
They came to help.
Felicity, you need to run. Now!
Run? No, you can trust them. Irene told me everything.
It's not her I'm afraid of.
What?
Suddenly, Irene cries out. Felicity whips around to see her drop to the floor, bashed over the head, the plank of wood that did the job pinging off the concrete floor beside her. John rubs out his hand. He flashes Felicity a dazzling smile.
It's me.
In the library at Sterling Manor, the fire crackles loudly. The heiress is wrapped in a blanket beside the house guest. The suitor is staring into his glass of gin. The inspector sits a short distance away, watching the flames. She turns suddenly to the house guest.
Are the paramedics on their way, madam? I'd prefer to have Ms. Westwood in the hospital as soon as I can.
They're sending an ambulance and 2 squad cars for an escort.
Excellent. How long did they say?
10 minutes at the most.
Perfect. How much did I get right then? Out of interest.
The house guest tosses back her liquor. She pours another.
Almost everything. The gardener did send me to kill Westwood.
What?
I couldn't go through with it. I loved the old man almost as much as my lover hated him. When I came up the stairs to his study on Saturday, the lights were still on. He couldn't sleep. I talked with him until he thought he could. And then I went home. He was so delighted to see me.
Fascinating. The human heart.
You were wrong about one thing, Inspector. I did love Robert. I always will.
She finishes her second drink. The fire pops loudly.
Forgive me, Inspector, but shouldn't you be looking for the doctor?
He'll turn up eventually. Only the cowardly run, and the cowardly are no threat to us.
Eris puts down her mug of tea. Her voice is still raw, but she sounds stronger.
Why did he do it, Inspector? And how could he have killed my father? The doctor wasn't even in the house when he died. I had to call him myself the next morning.
Yes. I figured you'd ask.
I don't want to sound morbid, but I'm dying to know.
The inspector gets up and heads toward the fireplace. The logs are crackling happily. She allows the heat to warm her legs and toes, and then she turns.
Why does anyone do anything, really? Because they want something. And the doctor never got what he really wanted, so he killed for the second best thing. What is the one thing we decided earlier is a stronger motive for murder than money?
Love.
Yes, love. Love is that intoxicating thing which mixes up the senses and impairs judgment as completely as a glass of whiskey. The doctor had love with nowhere to go, and it turned him into a killer. So really, Ms. Westwood, it all comes down to your mother.
My mother?
I thought it was rather obvious. The photograph, the Tolstoy quotation, War and Peace. Yes, your mother, who the doctor has loved his whole life, despite her marriage to your father. Think about it, a young man at home with his aging parents and young sisters, when suddenly a beautiful young woman comes in as the governess? Hell, I'd be in love. Then your buddy goes home while you're stuck at war and snatches her up before you can get back. He said it himself.
She was always too good for him. I could have made Westwood's fortune if I wanted to.
They were the same in every respect. Their station, their looks, their wealth and upbringing, the doctor being perhaps the slightly superior. To the doctor, the only reason your mother chose your father over him was Westwood's ambition for money. She wanted a better life for her children than she had had.
We were very lucky children.
When the doctor found out Westwood was altering his will to all but cut out his daughter, Grace's daughter, the last remaining piece of his lost love, a girl with a remarkable resemblance to her mother, he planned the murder to stop what he saw as a great injustice. To the doctor, he was upholding Grace's dream.
But that's wrong. My mother was a teacher. She would have wanted the money to go where it's going.
You're all so selfless. It's quite sickening.
Can you love someone and not know them at all?
He thought he did, and that's what counts. What the doctor didn't know was that young Miss Westwood had agreed to the change in inheritance. When I told you all earlier this afternoon, he flew into a rage. Cleverly concealed, I admit, but a rage nonetheless. She had betrayed him, betrayed her own mother even, for agreeing to this reversal of Grace's life's work. This casual discarding of wealth made his own lifelong torment, his own sacrifice entirely worthless. He decided Miss Westwood could not be saved, poisoned by her father's influence. So he decided to kill her the same way he killed her father. Luckily, I got there first.
But Westwood was pushed out a window.
That's where I was wrong, where we all were wrong. Let's go back to that day. We know where all of you were leading up to the murder.
Visiting Lionel.
Going over the will.
Meeting the gardener in the greenhouse.
But the doctor was in Westwood's bedroom administering his medicine.
In Westwood's bedroom, 3 days ago.
All right, last dose for the day, you old junkie. Think you'll survive with me for one night, without me?
I'll certainly try. I can't believe you get to go mingle with all those lovely nurses.
Oh, it's work.
Have fun.
I'll certainly try.
Back in the library.
Heart problems. You told me just after meeting me, Miss Westwood. Like any good doctor, he had a number of drugs with him, among them the barbiturates he used to routinely lower Westwood's high heart rate and treat his chest pain, and epinephrine, which raises the heart rate. It's like an extra shot of adrenaline to the bloodstream of whoever takes it. It wouldn't take much to affect someone like Westwood, just a routine dose of the wrong drug to an already high pressure prone heart. That day, the doctor injected Westwood with the wrong medication, packed up his needle, took his medical bag to the car, and drove up to Albany for the medical conference. If all had gone to plan, Westwood would have died in his sleep that night and been found dead of a heart attack the next morning, completely unsuspicious for a man plagued by a chronically weak heart.
He must have planned for weeks, the snake.
It was ingenious. The doctor committed the murder hours before it would have taken place. By the time Westwood had taken his last breath, the doctor was safely accounted for upstate. The perfect alibi.
But I still don't understand. If the doctor was gone, who pushed my father?
See, that's where the plan went wrong. The doctor didn't account for Westwood's nightmares, getting worse all the time. You told me yesterday that the doctor underestimated their strength.
Yes, he didn't take it seriously when I asked him, barely made a change in his treatment.
Those vivid visions meant that Westwood was still awake in the early hours of Saturday morning, only now with a pounding head and a strangely racing heart. We know what happens next. Our lovely guest pays Westwood a visit from the pool house, finds him in his study, opens the window for fresh air, chats for a bit, and leaves. But then something unexpected, something that changes everything. Westwood looks out the window.
But surely he's looked out the window before.
It's not the window itself, it's what he sees. A pale figure floating across the grass, bobbing in the middle distance.
My ghost.
Precisely. But what he really sees, and what you saw just last night, Miss Westwood, is your house guest in her white dressing gown going back to the pool house. I dare say there have been a lot of late night trips across the grounds of recently to, say, visit the gardener.
Yes, well, you all know now anyway. There were.
Excellent fodder for nightmares. So that night, Westwood sees you walk across the grounds and mistakes you for a ghost, maybe his son, maybe the vision of the bride that you would have been. Either way, he's entranced. He's not himself, and we know he's very active during these episodes. He climbs onto the open windowsill to get a closer look. It's at that moment, framed in the large window with his housecoat billowing in the night wind, that the doctor's drugs take their deadly effect and stop his heart. Westwood topples out the window head first, not a jump, not a push, but a fall, and lands in the garden below. He was dead before he hit the ground. Isn't that right, Doctor?
The others whip around in their chairs to see the doctor standing in the doorway. The inspector produces a revolver from her coat and points it at the doctor.
How did you figure it out?
Besides you running for the hills, that is? I had all the pieces. I just had to put them together. Now, are you going to turn yourself in or do something very, very stupid?
I was close, though, wasn't I, to getting away with it?
The one thing I didn't think of was that the medications had been switched. Luckily, you gave that information to me with your last failed murder attempt. Did that thrill you, Doctor, fooling us all before our very eyes?
People are inherently stupid, Inspector, and I deal with them every day. I rarely thrill at the fooled anymore.
Is that so?
Do you thrill at the captured?
Every time. One last question, Doctor, before you make your decision.
Yes?
The gardener. Why did he have to die?
He cut himself.
Oh, of course.
He cut himself so he had to die?
He figured me out! He saw the extra medication labels looking for a bandage. If he wasn't a clumsy fool, he'd still be alive.
You left your bag in the garage fixing the boy's car.
Stupid of me, really. Miss Westwood found it too. When you did your pathetic pantomime of hiding her away. She was on her way to the garden with it to find you, but I got there first.
I saved her, Doctor. You failed.
That's true. But can you save her again?
The glimmer of a syringe in the doctor's hand reflecting in the firelight, and a shot rings out from the inspector's pistol. She hits the doctor square in the shoulder and he goes down hard, the syringe shattering on the hardwood. The inspector stalks over, gun still raised, to assess the injury that now matches the one of the doctor's dead friend.
I only did what I thought was right.
Don't worry, Doctor. An ambulance is already on its way.
Music as the inspector looks down at her culprit and smiles. The music cuts out abruptly. We are back in the warehouse. Felicity and Artie are breathing hard, watching John as he walks slowly toward them.
It's wonderful, isn't it? The final twist, the pièce de résistance.
When it pays off.
If you're gonna kill us now, you might as well get it over with.
And destroy all my hard work? I have to admit, you giving me the slip was impressive before it was annoying. It's my own fault for writing characters with intensely hard heads. I have to stop that. Terrible habit.
What are you talking about? What's happening? John?
John? Oh, you sound so scared. It's sort of sweet.
Tell me what this is before I come over there and bash your head in like you did Irene's.
Oh, not so sweet. I'm surprised you didn't figure it out, actually. You're supposed to be the smart one.
You didn't give me much of a chance. What am I supposed to have figured out then?
That I'm the writer.
Bit of an anticlimax, isn't it?
Not of the radio show. I wrote that too, but that's not important. I'm the writer of this, of you, of every step you've taken since you sprung into being, of Felicity and Artie, Irene and Missy, even Sebastian, the director. You think he was ever really in charge?
What are you talking about? I'm alive. I'm a person. I'm not some...
Fictional character? Where were you born? Okay, where did you move to LA from then? What's your college degree in? What's your last name? How did your mom die? Well, you can't answer because they don't exist. It doesn't matter what came before this. This is all there is. You're made up from my imagination. You're a character. You're mine.
No. No, that can't be right.
We're not real, Felicity. None of this ever was.
I've got to get out of here.
She starts to move toward the front of the warehouse.
No, you don't.
She lurches to a stop.
What's happening? I can't move, Artie. I can't move.
Go over there.
She does.
Now hit him. Go on.
She smacks Artie across the face.
I'm sorry.
You've made your point.
Nothing personal, you know. He never liked me.
Obviously, I was right.
Oh, shut up.
Artie grasps at his throat, suddenly unable to talk.
Let him go.
I thought we should chat first, without interruptions.
Why are you doing this to us?
To you? Well, it's not about you. It's about the drama. Story is king. Everything has always been about the story.
Everything.
A story can be whatever you want it to, as long as you're brave enough to make it your own. And this one has been very interesting.
No, I know you better than that.
Please, I let you think that.
No, I do, because you made yourself the doctor, and that told me everything I needed to know.
I'm nothing like him.
I think you're exactly like him. Sad, lonely, and you think you have the right to play God.
I am God!
No, you're not. You're a half-decent artist who can't bear not being in control. Is there anything for you outside this world, or are you really all alone?
Me alone?
Why else would someone write themselves into a fiction?
You're the one that's alone. You're not even real.
But I've got a brother and a friend, and for a minute, I even had you. Written or not, they mean something to me, and that's more than you can say about them.
They're not real people.
No. Real people can leave you. Can't they, John?
But you can't.
Maybe not. You forgot I'm a writer too. And story isn't anything if it doesn't make you feel something. Did it at least do that?
How could it? When I knew where it was going all along.
You're empty. Hollow. And apparently, you've only got one story.
For now. And I think it's time for it to end.
From the ground, something starts to rumble. It comes up through the foundations of the building, into their feet, and out the tops of their heads. John hurries toward the exit.
You wrote yourself in.
Goodbye, Felicity.
Come back.
John turns on his heel and stalks toward Felicity.
What? No!
He stops with effort.
You screwed yourself over, John. You wrote yourself in. And if this really is the broadcast, that means you go down in the end. And we make it out.
The floor and walls start to shake. John, unsteady on his feet, skids and almost falls as the lights overhead sway and spark loudly. It's not in his control. It's someone
I can
else.
change the ending. I have more than one story.
Artie, talk to me.
You motherfucker!
Welcome back.
How?
You messed up. You made me the protagonist.
I made everything about you.
But it's my story. And I decide what happens next.
You'll tear it apart.
You said it yourself, John. It's my choice. You only need to be strong enough to take control of it.
Chunks of the wall start coming down. A panel from the metal ceiling falls onto the concrete with a crash. John is screaming, more at the warehouse than at Felicity herself.
I said stop! I'm the writer, me!
Felicity, how are you doing this?
I don't really know. I just want it to happen, and it's happening.
Could you bring it down?
Felicity looks at him. He's closest to John, right under the support beams. Felicity nods, slowly.
If you have the chance, do it.
But Artie,
Don't make me argue, Fel. I told you I'd take care of it.
I don't care.
Let me make good on that now.
The ground is shaking worse than ever. Felicity is struggling to keep her balance.
Felicity, please. None of that was a lie for me. Not us, and I know I couldn't write you to feel that way for me.
I know. And that makes it so much worse.
Keep me around then. What's life without a good love story?
A dull thunk and a cry of pain from John. From behind, Irene has awoken and smashed John across the head with the same plank used against her.
You can find a better love story than that.
Irene!
Artie takes the chance to dive on a dazed John.
Now, Felicity, now!
She grabs Irene and runs, metal and smashing glass as the roof starts to cave in.
Artie!
With a final deafening crash, the warehouse crumbles down into itself, shaking the ground and leveling everything beneath it. Silence. The dust clears. Felicity and Irene cough, emerging from the rubble onto the fresh air above. They gasp at it, brush off their clothes, clutch at each other.
Felicity?
I'm here.
What happened? Where's Artie?
We should go.
The two women stumble over the rubble, out toward the car. The sun is just barely coming up, tinting the sky dark blue.
Do you think it was real? He was writing us into his story?
I don't know. But either way, he can't anymore. He said there are people listening to this.
Like, right now?
Felicity shrugs. She peers around her and wanders away from Irene, throws her arms wide.
Hello? Can you hear us? Who are you?
Nothing.
What do you think?
Felicity trips over the asphalt, neck craned toward the sky, searching for microphones, eavesdroppers, anything to explain what.
Hey, cut that out.
She turns back to Irene, a question in her.
I said shut it.
Oh. Irene furrows her brow at.
For me too, jackass!
Me?
Yeah, you. We're in charge now. Got that? Do you think she's gone?
Maybe. Yeah, I think so.
Do you think the rest are still listening? Hello? Anybody?
I don't think they can answer back.
Why not?
I don't know. That's just how it works.
Hi, I guess. I don't really know what other way to start this. If you're out there and you can hear me, my name's Felicity. I'm 24 years old. I live in Los Angeles, California, and I don't have any idea who I am.
Keep going.
Well, this was my story, our story, or the beginning of it, at least. We're gonna write the rest of it now ourselves, so I don't know, it might get a little boring from here on out. Actually, I hope it does. So thanks for listening, I guess, but now we're gonna go.
Is that it?
I guess so. Goodbye, everybody. I hope you all have wonderful stories.
All right, that is a wrap on the broadcast, everybody.
Woo! Yes.
So, to be clear, Artie did it.
Yeah, awesome.
The Artie slander never stops.
Well, I just
Caroline,
like to
sounds
say that I
something
guess
we're
the
looking
ending
for.
will start.
Yeah.
Oops. Okay, you're muted. Caroline? Caroline?
Yep, she's frozen. Yeah, she's gone. We'll check in with her later.
I can't imagine she'd say no. I mean, you guys killed it.
Yeah, and also it's Caroline.
Okay, so we're good then?
Yes, actors, you are free.
That was awesome. It was so great to work with everyone.
Aw, seriously.
James has to go. Clearly.
Real World Prohibition cast party?
Yes.
Amazing. Let's do it soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right, see you guys.
The sound of a video call ending. Music out. End of episode 6. End of the broadcast. Actors. How are we feeling?
Ugh.
Twitch
I can't
chat,
believe
how are we
James was the
feeling?
murderer all along.
I know.
Can't believe he did it.
Oh, man.
My brain's mush right now.
What the hell, Caroline?
Yeah, I didn't like that. That made me
I
uncomfy.
was
Can we just
thoroughly
hit the audience with an
unnerved.
explainer with like
But
what
I-
exactly happened? Because I don't know if they clued in.
I
with
think
that
it was
was all
pretty clear we were still reading. I'm
I'm
sorry,
I
not
keep
to.
reading the ones for James. So like it
I
was
know.
Well, I lost when he started reading for James. I lost track of the script, so I thought Gabe was just saying stuff, and I was like,
It
"Oh,
took
okay."
me a
well,
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
not
you
doing
got-
the rest
you
of
Also
it.
got
lost track of the script
Yeah,
too.
I was like,
who's
"What?"
frozen?
I know, because
Oh
I
my
was
God.
trying to do like the theater thing where you just like keep it going, forgetting that it doesn't
Yeah.
work when you're recording podcast.
Well, that just good job on that naturalistic delivery, Gabe, because you had us all. We were looking at the script and we were all still very confused with what was going on.
I didn't see the lines. I was like, "Oh, we're vamping now. Forget the script."
Okay,
Oh,
so
man.
who was in on this? Gabe, obviously. I know you were in on it.
Like in on the ultimate ending.
Were you in on it, Gabe? Like
says,
in
"Ugh."
on the fact that at the end
Yeah,
of the script it's our
and-
names. Who was in on this? Technically,
Technically, no.
Oh, so
What does
you're just
technically no
reading
mean?
along and you're like, "Fuck, I've got lines."
Yeah, what's technically? Technically, he's
Yeah.
doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
Oh, okay, so he probably
Oh,
like
okay.
saw ahead.
Oh
Dang.
wow.
Didn't know until
Okay.
receiving
Well
the
then,
script.
kudos for just rolling with suddenly having lines as our technical director.
Yeah.
Great
I
job
hate-
running with it,
I
everyone.
hate and love how she wrote all of the lines in a way that, like, I don't think we had to try too hard. I was like, oh my god,
I
this is
feel
what we
very
would say.
new
We've all
Doc.
said stuff like
This
know.
that.
matches our
I feel
speech
very
patterns
John. Caroline is the
concerningly
murderer.
well.
I felt far too perceived there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're in a
No, she-
simulation. It's like
She
quadruply meta now.
She absolutely nailed your cadences.
I
Just,
know.
mwah.
It's
I
just
know.
rude.
Brilliant job,
It's
so rude.
Caroline.
Spooky.
So intrusive.
Spooky.
Well,
This
and
was just a
way-
long con for Caroline to send us all into existential crises for
Slash
like a
flex
night or
on
two.
everybody. She
Yeah.
was like,
Oh my gosh,
I
what
know
a
you.
flex.
Yeah, well, see these like meta twists, it definitely land in one way when you're reading it, but when you're actually performing it and live,
Yeah.
with no prior
had
knowledge
no
of what's
idea it
coming.
existed.
And you're reading for the
It's-
character
well,
that is you.
Yeah.
Oh.
like Maggie said, existential crisis. Just for transparency here, so I was not in on it, but I do get the script a little bit before you do, simply to give me some ideas as to what kind of questions to ask you. I did not get to the part where my actual directions are part of the dialogue, so that actually threw me off as well.
I didn't know who I
knew-
was yelling at first. I was
I
like,
figured it out, and
okay,
it was-
shut up.
Yeah, I knew who done it, and I knew what was going to happen, but it was mostly just from reading the dialogue and scrolling through it. So so thank you for making me a character, Caroline.
It felt like the camera just kept like zooming out at the end there, because it was like, okay, it's meta in that like John was, orchestrating everything to match the radio drama with his real world. Okay, that's one level.
Now we're in the Matrix.
And
I
then it
need
was
to know,
another
like,
level. Another.
What's the context? Like, does John live in the future where this is like an option
It
for
felt
you,
very
like a VR
Like
simulator?
a VR situation?
Yeah, well, you know that like
Ah.
Black Mirror episode where the guy like has that game.
Yes,
it's like
the Star
parody.
Trek
Yeah.
one. That's what I
kinda
was
what it
thinking
made me
of the
think-
whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt. Very Black
My
Mirror.
mind. Has anyone here watched Red Dwarf?
No.
The
Oh,
old
it's been so
British
long.
TV show. They had a whole episode about like the guys were like playing in these simulated realities, and that's where my mind went. I've not seen a lot of Black Mirror, so instead I've got this obscure 80s TV show reference for you.
Amazing,
Let's
amazing.
just
No, it
keep
was
listing media it reminded us of. I felt like we were in the Truman Show, only more
Yeah,
insane.
someone said Truman Show. I swear, we made
think that
Truman
was
Show
mentioned
jokes,
at some
like
point.
early
We did.
days.
I
We
think
also
someone did
made
pre-
jokes about it being a third layer out, and we were
We
right.
did. Yeah, we like laughingly kind of poked at what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
very
Wouldn't it be
Twilight
crazy
Zone.
if it was all a
Yeah,
simulation?
Caroline, you're not in control. Leave
Yeah,
it all
Caroline,
alone.
we're writers too, all of us.
Yeah,
That's spooky how well she got our speech patterns.
I know.
That's
I know.
really spooky. I don't
Even
like that,
Literally
Caroline.
the fact was it James's line that was unfortunately not delivered live tonight when he was like, "I'd
No,
just
but
like
James
to say
would
that
say
I
that.
guessed that ending from the start."
He would
I was like,
say
that's
that.
literally
And
what
I've
he
been
said
making
before we
Artie
started,
slander jokes this whole time. Like,
I know. I just had to come in hot out of the gate with, I think it was Artie still.
Yeah.
you and I have been
But I
on the
do.
Artie hate train like the whole time. Yeah.
I do still think
The
it was
Artie hate train.
Well, okay, wait. I still don't. So, so John wrote that Artie. Was that just a way to like get Artie like away, like the fake drug? Who was Quinn?
I want.
Who's
I want a
Quinn? Why did
sequel-
Drew die?
A sequel
If-
and/or spin-off with Quinn and Drew.
Yeah.
If he's
they're both
writing all of
just
this,
Eric.
why the extra steps?
That's just gonna be like, yeah, it's gonna be like a,
Actually, I just
For
want a
the
buddy comedy that's Quinn,
drama.
Drew, and the Newsy.
Yeah.
It's Eric's one man.
Like there were so
comeback
many
show.
extra steps to achieving whatever John
Oh.
achieved, and I'm not even positive what he got.
so
Well,
Caroline
he's dead apparently.
yeah, he got
Caroline
killed. That's what he got.
has
Oh, here we go.
Caroline says in the Twitch chat, "I've been listening."
Yeah.
Spooky.
Well
Oh,
delivered,
God, I hope
Meredith.
so.
That's exactly how I chose to receive it. So
Yes.
very, very
Yeah.
spooky and haunting.
Incredible.
Spooky season, everyone. We've
It
all
is,
been,
yeah, it is Halloween.
yeah.
So, something that I enjoyed, and this is something that I hope to perhaps pick Caroline's brain about, is that writing in a lot of ways is a very selfish and internal practice. And I say this as a writer, not as an outsider looking in. And that's kind of something that this reminded me of, is thinking about like how we are so precious about the worlds that we create sometimes. It also reminds me of the idea that you have to kill your darlings. I do actually think that in a very twisted way, John did love Felicity, but it was a very like selfish, possessive kind of love that you have for your creation.
Mhm.
And she picks up on that.
It was funny though,
that
because it's because like he wrote himself into this universe where he's the god of the universe, but it was still just like a slow burn crush. Like you
That
would
was
think,
the
like,
best
what,
he could imagine.
what level of
was pretty
self-loathing
good.
do you have to be? You would think that you would write, oh, and she's in love with me and she's obsessed. Like he's like, nah, we're like kind of into each other. We don't really do anything about it. Like,
To be
In
fair,
John's
I think that's actually
wildest
less sad.
imagination.
I think it would be
I
more
guess,
sad
yeah,
if
I
you're
guess
like,
it's less
they
sad
are
than-
in love with me, and you just
Yeah.
skip the whole like any
Skip the whole thing.
development.
that's
Yeah,
true.
I- 'cause it's
He
the only
wanted to
way
be
to-
wooed. And
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
I
part
wanted to
of
have
it.
an authentic Matrix
He wanted it
romance.
to
You know,
feel
like
real.
the real experience, the 3D.
Well, I-
deep
John
dive.
slow burn fanfic.
So
Yeah, John Slumburn.
before
No one else
before
would
we
write it for him, so
Yeah.
He tried.
we
He was
wrap-
all up on Craigslist.
So before we wrap up, we are going to do some talk, but I would like to remind everyone that we are going to have on Caroline for a big chat and reflection at the same time next week. So if you have questions about her ideas, her
Quick pause.
processes,
I think it's not next week. I think it is the following week. Gabe,
Is
if you want to
it?
fact check us here so that I'm not
That's the-
spewing lies.
The 23rd.
No, the following week is Halloween, so
I'm pretty sure. It's,
Well,
Yeah, isn't it the 23rd?
I
yeah.
think it's the 23rd. I
yes,
think it's next
n-
week. And we'll
I don't
look
know
I
why
got
we
my-
skip
the
a week.
I
inspector
got my
always-
This is
info.
the
Wait.
cliffhanger. When's
Yeah,
it
this
gonna
is the
happen?
real
direct-
cliffhanger.
Do you
I got
know
my
our
info
Instagram handle?
directly from Greg. No, from Gabe. I can't name right because I'm writing my reality as. Caroline says, Kevin, tell them how much you knew.
This is
Kevin,
where I
how
think
much
we
did
should
you know?
end the
What
talk
did you
so
know?
that we can have a nice cliffhanger for our talk back. is that I
Kevin,
knew I
how
was
much
the
did you
murderer the
know?
whole time. From episode 1, I knew. Well, I didn't know about the whole triple meta thing, but I did know that I was the murderer. the whole
Okay.
time.
Okay, so she did put it in the info. I was
I
always
assumed
wondering
the
if that
person
was
would
in the
have
info
it.
packet.
Yeah.
But
I
I also thought that they
assumed-
might not, because that might make it fun if nobody had that.
Or
Let's see
they,
what
I,
happens
I
with
was
that.
hoping they would at least get it before like a villain reveal, like if Kevin got it like before this episode at the very least.
Yeah.
But no, that's fine.
Yes. I'm
Okay,
hoping
that
adds
also
some
makes
rewatch
sense that you
value.
knew the whole. I'm gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna be I'm
It
gonna
is-
be really
it is
honest. There were
next
a couple acting choices where I was like, boy, I hope he knows he's the murderer because I was a little creeped out by that flirting. Boy, I hope he's the murderer and this isn't just how he's doing it.
So
it
that
was
means
good.
you've
So you
been having
were-
to make fake
Yes.
predictions about if you've been lying.
Yes,
about
this,
your
this whole
predictions.
thing has been like a double performance
It's
where I'm like,
double
oh my
performance.
god, wouldn't it be crazy
Kevin's
if
been
I was the
gaslighting
murderer?
all of us.
Yeah. Kevin's
Yeah,
canceled.
like
Yeah, Caroline
Yeah.
is just doxing me. That's this whole thing. She was like, I want to see if we can make him look the worst possible.
Veronica in chat said he didn't even tell me. What?
Oh.
Okay,
That-
he's
that would
definitely
be
canceled.
my girlfriend. Yeah.
Ooh.
Commitment.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's method.
I mean, to be fair, if I knew I was the killer, I probably wouldn't have told my partner either. I'd be
You
like,
didn't
no,
tell
you
my
have to
family,
watch
didn't tell
it.
anyone.
Tough.
You make them
yeah,
watch. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Even-
we'll have words after this.
Yeah, even if my mommy asked me on her deathbed, I would just be like, "No, mommy, you have to stay alive long enough to watch it." Actually, and just so
Tune
we're
in
clear,
live.
just so we're clear, I actually had no idea until roughly maybe 15 minutes before you did. So
Incredible.
I was left just as much in the dark for the most part. Like I said, I get them a little bit ahead of time just to know what questions to ask you. But honestly, you all have such great insights that, almost doesn't matter. Just build off what you're talking about and what you're saying.
We
So
did
who-
pick up on a lot of things, actually. I'm quite proud of us.
You
Oh,
did.
yeah.
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 And what's Eric's final death count? Eric, you died a
Yeah.
lot.
I didn't
A
get
lot
to
of
die
times.
once dramatically.
Because Artie, well,
You
Artie
just
was
got
like
crushed
dead.
in a
off screen.
building.
Oh, I guess
That's
that's,
true.
true.
Gardner's
Yeah, yeah.
dead.
But-
Did you voice Drew? Did someone voice Drew in like
I,
No one
I
voiced
think
flashback?
that
Drew.
was the young man at the beginning. Yeah.
very
so
beginning.
Oh
I
yeah,
had
you
him
yes,
too.
you voiced
Yeah.
young man.
Oh, that
You
was
voi-
that
you
was very
died as
dramatic.
Drew.
Actually, never
You
mind.
died
Yeah.
as the gardener.
Yeah.
You died a lot.
Yep.
God, my
Well,
That's
God.
me, master of demise.
Good job, Sean Bean.
Ooh.
So as we kind of drift out towards the end of our conclusion, did Artie really die if he wasn't actually real? Something to think
Ooh,
about
love a
when you
good-
talk to
yeah,
Caroline
philosophy
question.
next week.
Can they just conjure him again in this like VR space they live in now? Can Felicity and Irene remain as the gods of this universe?
I will think of nothing else until.
Also,
next
where are
week.
Missy and Sebastian? Are they like just still out there?
They're somewhere.
Oh my
How do we
gosh.
break the news?
I
This is an
know my girl
incredibly
Missy is
elaborate
still out
universe.
there.
Well, these are all questions that we can ask Caroline next week. So come prepared, everybody. Thank you so much again for joining us. It was a great honor to work with all of you and perform with all of you. Had a really wonderful time. I'm looking forward to the wrap up and everything next week. So just one more time.
Thank you. Thank you, Meredith.
Oh, thank you. Cold Cuts is based on an original idea by our writing producer, Declan Grogan. Music by Vincenzo Torsiello. The broadcast is written by Caroline Lesney. We do this every Saturday, and every Tuesday the videos are posted on YouTube, and the audio will be available on all streaming platforms. Make sure to follow us online at Platform Prodco, PLATFORMPRODCO on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Thank you so much again for joining us. We've had a really great time. To all of you that have tuned in, all of you that have left comments, we'll hope that you come next week just as prepared with questions as the actors, because I'm really looking forward to hearing about Caroline's thought processes while writing this. So thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.